HyperX Cloud Core is a $70 mid-range option. Now, some people might consider that budget, people might consider that higher end. I think this is a nice, smooth, mid-range price. I was wondering, did they deliver the goods? Is this a good option? Because the $70 price range is a competitive market. Let's find out by jumping directly into the package. Now, the package is almost exactly the same as the HyperX Cloud 2s. However, inside is very different. Now, in the HyperX Cloud 2s, there was a lot of wasteful plastic. Here, we got nice soft foam and very minimal waste. We have the headphones, the detachable mic, the USB extender with controller, sound card, and your documentations, and sadly, no stickers. The design and build quality, this is where they could have really saved a buck, but honestly, this is impressive. This build quality is superb. However, they're smaller. I'm wondering if that's where they saved the money, because these are smaller than the Cloud 2s quite significantly. However, it's not a problem. They are a closed back design just like the Cloud 2s, and if you see them, they look almost the same. The color palette is where there's a lot of differences. The headband is a bit different. It has the same pleather up top with the HyperX logo pressed into it, but below it there's actually a thicker foam padding, to which it's a very different type of foam. It's much spongier. I don't feel any different towards these than I do the HyperX Cloud 2s. It's just different. Doesn't function any differently though. We have the same exposed cable situation here. Again, it doesn't feel like it's a fail point or that it's weak. It's actually a very rugged feeling cable. I'm not really too concerned about it. A lot of times when there's exposed wires, I get concerned. I'm not worried here. With these, we have a black brushed metal. They could have cheaped out and they could have went plastic, but this is metal. The sliding mechanism is extremely loose, and this is where they're smaller. The sliding mechanism is much shorter. The headband is shorter. They're smaller. They feel more like children's size, but they do fit. But I worry that if you have a bigger sized head, you might have a small issue with these fitting. It is an almost all metal construction, aside from just a little bit of plastic on the ear cups. And the ear cups, it doesn't feel hollow. The only time you notice that it's hollow if you smack them, or when you're putting them on and you're doing this, you notice it. Ear cups are a different type of pleather from the Cloud 2s. It's a softer, smoother feeling pleather. I wouldn't say it feels lower quality or higher quality. It's just different, but they're as thick. They are quite shallow, but because of the padding on the inside, you really don't notice it. But we'll get more into that into the comfort section. And I have the same problem with these that I do with the Cloud 2s. Without the extender, the wire is too short. With the extender, the wire is too long. When you're using a controller, it's not that big of a deal, but sometimes like I'll move my hand forward with the controller or something and I'll notice it. Like if I'm playing Elden Ring and like I get mad or something and I push my hand forward, I've yanked this off my head. That's a me problem, I know. The same problem with the controller is the controller sits in my lap because it sits so far down. I wish the controller was up higher so I could clip to my shirt. What can you do? Overall though, the build quality is great. I have very little complaints about the build quality. For $70, this is killer build quality. I have felt much lower quality feeling $70 headsets. This is superb. Jumping right into comfort, again where they surprise me. They are so comfortable, just like the Cloud 2s. They are so comfortable. That padding feels great. There's like no clamping force. They're so light that they don't really sit hard on the top of your head, and they got that airy cushion, so it feels nice on the top of the head. The cushions are nice and plush, and even though my ears are sitting in the inside, it doesn't seem to matter because the cushion is so plush. These are a definite 8 out of 10 when it comes to comfort. Absolutely recommend. I just wish that they were a little bit bigger so I had a little bit more wiggle room when it came to adjustments. But let's jump directly into specs. They're pretty impressive. You have 53mm dynamic O drivers with a frequency response of 15 Hz to 25 kHz. That's why I get bored when I see 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Even the mid-range is hitting that 15 to 25. If they can do it, anybody can do it. That's why when I see like $100 pair of headphones at 20 to 20, I'm like, really, man? Even like at the $70 price range like this, I'm like, why? And the microphone is also a pretty impressive point. It's a cardioid condenser removable mic at 100 Hz to 12 kHz. Pretty wide frequency response. And these also have that 7.1 virtual surround sound. Now, in one moment, we'll get into the mic test, but I just want to say, hey, if you are enjoying this video, definitely slap a like on it. It helps out a ton, pushes out on the algorithm, and I could really appreciate it. And I stream 3 times a week, and I do all sorts of tech reviews, mostly headsets, but If that interests you, definitely hit that subscribe button and ding that bell to get notified for any of my future videos. And if you're interested in anything we talk about in this video, there will be affiliate links down in the description, but just know I do get a kickback whenever you use that link. Now let's jump into that mic test. So this is the audio quality coming from the HyperX Cloud Core microphone. Let me know what you guys think. Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious. But that's the audio. Test 1, 2, 3. Sibilance, sibilance, sibilance. Back to the video. And that is how the mic sounds. So let's jump into the second most important thing, because the most important thing is comfort, but the second most important thing is that sound quality. You know, it's crazy when a headset comes out that's supposed to be the more price conscious, more affordable option, and you know, that's usually where they cut corners, the sound quality and the build quality. And it's crazy to me that they didn't cut on either. These are extremely impressive. I don't feel like these are dramatically different from the Cloud 2s, and that's crazy to me because there's a $30 difference between the two headsets. Now, yeah, there probably shouldn't be that big of a difference, but when you feel the build quality and everything, you're like, okay, they must cut back on the sound because these feel in the hand great. So the sound quality must not be that great. And that's just not true. There is, however, that more budget bass extra, that extra warmth that for some reason companies think that they should add to their lower end models, but it's not extreme. It's warmer, it's bassier, but it's not like woofy. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's woofy. This just has like a little bit of extra body to it. It can sound a little artificial, but it's so subtle. The only time where I'm like, okay, this is kind of a bit much, sometimes with footsteps, like when you're playing Elden Ring in certain hallways or something, you can hear that like boominess, and it's like, okay, that's a bit much. But everywhere else, it excels. The soundstage is surprisingly wide, just like the Cloud 2s. Yes, they're closed back, but they feel nice and wide. The directional audio is good. It's not great. You know, if say the Cloud 2 were like pinpoint accurate, Cloud Cores have like a wider range of where the thing could be. Like instead of being like, oh, it's northeast, it's like, well, it's in between north and east, somewhere in there. So it's not pinpoint and perfectly accurate, but it's pretty damn close. And the higher frequencies are very well represented. They're not piercing. Like sometimes with budget headphones, the higher end can also be exacerbated in a horrible piercing way. This is not the case. It feels crispy and sparkly. It's there, it's noticeable, it's clean sounding. The mid-range is very well represented, but it goes into that issue where I said with the bass does start to kind of creep up into the mid-range a little bit, so the mid-range might have a little bit of extra oomph to it that doesn't belong there. However, again, it sounds really good. They sound very, very close to the Cloud 2s, and I love the Cloud 2's sound signature. It is so impressive what they have done here. The only thing that I would really say is actually a problem is if there's too many frequencies happening in the high end and the low end, that low end will swallow the high end because it struggles to do a full range of frequencies at the same time. Ambience is very nice. Like when you're walking in a forest, you hear the wind blowing, you hear the leaves going, and your footsteps are going, and the music is in the background. I can comfortably play shooter games without feeling like I'm at a disadvantage. I feel like the directional audio is good enough where I can point out enemies, and I feel like I can hear footsteps at a good enough distance where I feel like I have the same competitive edge as everybody else. However, again, it is not perfect, and one thing that is definitely not perfect is that 7.1. It's extremely fake. It's extremely stretched sounding. I don't like it. I really don't need to say more about it. Just don't even use it. It's not good. But one thing that is good is this can pull double duty. I have this segment when I talk about gaming headsets. Can it do double duty? Because a lot of gaming headsets cannot do double duty. You play games, they sound great. You listen to music, they don't. And that's the thing. These can play music. These can play games. These can watch videos. They can watch movies. They can do everything another headset can do just fine. I don't feel like they got that gamery sound signature. Now, if these were my only headphones, I'd be perfectly content and happy. They sound open and detailed with a bit of extra bass. I don't feel like it's lacking much detail. Do other headphones sound better? Yeah, but at this price range, I think you are most definitely getting your money's worth. I just wish they were bigger and came with better ear pads. Yeah, the ear pads don't feel low quality, but they don't feel great either. And a longer wire without the extender. But if you're looking for a higher end HyperX headphone, I just reviewed the HyperX Cloud 2, so you can check out that video right here. And if you did enjoy this video, definitely slap a like on it. And like I said earlier, affiliate links will be down below, but just know I do get a kickback. But that's all from me, guys. Peace.